Thank you for being a part of this learning and collaborative initiative by GAME to enable micro enterprises and small business come back to life in a post-COVID world. Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship. GAME is a platform for mission-aligned partners to learn, innovate, and collaboratively build a mass entrepreneurship ecosystem. Through these 60 days and 60 voices, we hope to disseminate learnings and collaborative opportunities from various partners into the ecosystem so that we can all move forward together. And I am Neerav Shah from GAME. And in today's episode, we have with us Tanya and Surbhi from goodbynature.in. Welcome, Tanya and Surbhi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So, Tanya and Surbhi, do you want to share a little bit about goodbynature.in and what are you doing these days?
So, goodbynature.in is actually in itself a very organically formed website, a platform, which has been formed as the need arose to have a platform like this that brought together small sustainable businesses, farming units, etc. First, especially within our own locality, which is Pune currently. And we first started off with an offline version of this. But with the offline version, what we realized was that convenience definitely is something that e-commerce brings in. Yeah. Which is where goodbynature.in came into place, where we took the offline version online. So from sitting at home, you could have access to all these small businesses and their products, farmers' products, fresh produce as well. Just sitting at home, not having to necessarily come and visit one of our offline markets. So that's how Goodbye Nature actually started off.
You went offline to online recently after the crisis broke out. What was your experience?
No, actually, we decided to make the platform online last year when we realized that having a physical market has its limitations about, like Tanya said, the possibility for people to actually come out of their homes and come and join us. And that's when we said a digital platform in today's day when communication is all digital makes it much easier. And why not embrace the convenience of this technology when we are continuing to build a community? So we had decided to do this last year, and we have started operations since late last year. And we were already on the path of getting the logistics in place. We already have been having orders every week. And the current crisis of the lockdown has actually made us have to work a lot harder.
So you were already on a path to digital adoption. I mean, a lot of the businesses are still on that path, and maybe because of the crisis, considering that path. But is that the first step? What are the challenges that you are facing now that you are online in this current crisis? What are the real challenges that you are facing every day?
So I think, first of all, right now, in today's day with the lockdown going on, the biggest crisis is obviously the logistics. Like just before the lockdown started, we had a delivery partner, we had systems in place with that. And obviously those systems all went out of the window, right, when the lockdown was announced. So essentially, as of today, Surbhi and I are everything. We're stockkeeper, driver, delivery person, back-end, accounts, all of it. It's just the two of us doing everything for two reasons. One is, of course, we're not in a position to be able to put anybody else at risk, of course, in terms of, when you have delivery and delivery people and all of that. And we are a small unit. We are a small setup. We can't afford also the kind of logistical support that we would need to give if we had to employ staff to do these deliveries. When you're you're a startup, you're fresh, you don't have that kind of financial backing to set up huge systems that ensure safety, etc., and health for the people who work with you. So currently, the biggest challenge for us is that we are both basically doing everything, right from procuring to stocking to delivering ourselves, coordinating everything. And along with that comes obviously with the obvious issue that most people who are doing this kind of work currently will be facing, will be ensuring that your permissions are in place, ensuring that you're following the law. Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of that. But still, because we are in the essential services category, it is also our duty to try to make it available as much as possible, because there are so many people who are struggling to get even basic groceries or fresh produce, etc. So I think that currently is our biggest challenge in terms of today's scenario.
Sure. And how are the customers reacting? How's the business doing? How's the order book looking like?
So in the current situation, the order book has been really busy because a lot of people have been finding it difficult to get their groceries. I mean, door delivered is one thing, but even getting it in their neighborhood sometimes is difficult. I'm hearing reports that people are saying that the stores near us are closed most of the time. We're not getting things. So to have somebody who is actually delivering, even though we have restricted the areas that we're delivering to, we are not able to go all over Pune right now. But the fact that we are taking an order and we are fulfilling that order is being taken very well by the customers, and they are spreading the word quite fast, because a lot of people are finding that they are not getting the services. And they also find that sometimes it's the two of us, right? So like Tanya said, we are a small setup, which also means that both of us are on the ground making sure everything happens. And that means that we take a lot of the responsibility personally to make sure that nobody is disappointed in the end. And we make sure that as much as possible, every order is fulfilled. So it's a very personal commitment while we do this. And I think that is getting a very good feedback from the customers.
And what about the supplies, right? How is your inventory looking? What about your suppliers? Are they able to fulfill the demand? Or
so inventory has been tricky, definitely, because there's been ups and downs. There have been weeks when suppliers have not been able to bring their inventory into city. There have been weeks where we've, even this week itself, we are very unsure. It's all very unpredictable, especially in Pune right now. We don't know whether fresh produce is going to be able to be brought in. There's a lot of ambiguity going on right now about what is allowed, what is not allowed. So typically also what happens is there is a lot of fear as well, even in the supply chain side, because they are unsure of whether they're going to be let in. So there's a lot of risk taking that even they need to, for example, if you harvest fresh produce, if you don't bring it into the city, you waste it. Yes. So there is a certain amount of risk that a vendor or a supplier or a farmer needs to carry on his shoulders.
Sure.
So the inventory management has been tricky. If you go to the website, you will see there are products that are out of stock, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we're trying our best to at least keep it going as far as possible. And we're trying to encourage also the supply chain, by sort of helping them out, by meeting them halfway, asking them how we can help to bring the products in. Yeah. So it's definitely up and down.
I think farmers are the most affected in this situation.
Most definitely, yes.
And I think you've done some initiatives that is like specially for this crisis to bring the farmers together. Can you share what you're doing in bringing some farmers and farmer groups together to serve the demand in Pune for NGOs, or can you share about that initiative?
Right. So right from the beginning, everything that we have done from our offline market to our online market has been about a community sticking together. And the community, especially when it comes to something as important like the food chain, starts from the farmer and ends with the person who is eating that produce. So when this crisis came up, the first thing that came to our mind was, like you said, the farmers are really suffering. And more than any farmer, it's the farmers who have things like vegetables and fruits and milk and things that are really perishable. So when we are talking about community, then this is the most important time that the community has to also stand by them. And that's when we realize that we need to find a way that we can try and buy off the crop from as many farmers as possible. So we created an initiative where it was possible for people to pledge an amount to buy a certain amount of crop from a farmer, and in bulk quantity. So for example, 50 kilos of onions at a time, 50 kilos of potatoes at a time. And we would collect all these purchases. And once we had an entire truckload, which was 1,000 or 1,500 kilos, we would make the farmer send the entire lot to the city, which would go directly to some sort of an NGO or a charitable organization, which was helping people who are hungry. So the idea was for the farmers to be able to feed the hungry people with the help of the entire community.
Yeah, I think that is one of the biggest needs of the NR. So how can you share a little bit more about what has been the and how many farmers are being helped by these initiatives? What is the engagement like?
So altogether, there's more than 30 tons, more than 30,000 kilos of vegetables that we are trying to buy. So far, we have reached about 8,500.
Oh.
These farmers belong to a network of farmers that come under BAIF, BAIF. So this is an organization that helps farmers practice good agricultural practices. And we've been working with them already for a few years. So we work with this farmer network directly. And the number of farmers that are under them would be easily between 15 to 20 farmers.
Sure. What learnings can you share with entrepreneurs who are in similar situations?
So I think one of the things that for us has been really important has been finding connections. So connecting with whether it's your own, like Survi said, it's about a community, and there are multiple people doing multiple good things. And when you connect the dots between all of them, suddenly everyone becomes relevant in that puzzle. And I think that's been one of the biggest learnings, especially during the whole COVID crisis, is that multiple people coming together to sort of realize that when you connect the dots, you can actually have some kind of an impact on the ground, the situation on ground. So I think that's been like one really big learning for us, because I don't think anybody anticipated something like this about to hit us ever. Like, I don't think we thought about this ever. I remember about 2 weeks ago, Survi and I were talking on the phone regarding some work, and we said, about 2-3 years ago, when we actually started working in this field, of sustainability, and especially about food, and we used to discuss about how there'll be a day when food will be a problem, and when there will be a crisis, and there will be food issues, and how we need to be relevant because we need to start making a difference about where your food comes from and helping the farmers and all of that. And I remember Survi saying, did you ever think that what we spoke about would come true so soon? And we didn't. But so I think connecting the dots has been a really big thing for us during this whole, especially the last 3 weeks.
Sure.
It's all about goodwill and transparency. So basically, you have to build relationships with every person in this circle. So whether it is the person buying from you, or whether it's the person selling to you, or the person who is growing the vegetable in the first place, you have to keep having each of those relationships based on a lot of trust. And I think that is the most fundamental thing for anything to survive when things get so difficult.
Sure. That's great. Any support you need from the ecosystem, right? A lot of our ecosystem is listening to this. Can they come together to help you in any which way?
So I think, first of all, if there's anybody who has clarity about how one, when you're doing this kind of work, and when the law or the rules are changing on a day-to-day basis about what you're allowed to, where you can and cannot go, how you go about getting those permissions, and they're constantly changing it around, and it makes it so difficult to keep up with everything, and you're constantly wondering whether we are so stressed about whether we are going to be able to fulfill this week's commitments, etc. So as a community, if there are enough people who can come together and maybe consolidate information that's available to small setups like all of us, that gives us relevant and information, because there's also a lot of wrong information floating around.
Yeah.
So, and the police and the government obviously have so much of their hands full with queries and risk requests and all of that, that it's difficult to even expect them to sit and respond to each and every person's query. So I think as a community, to help a lot of the small businesses, especially the ones that are maybe in the field of essential services, maybe e-commerce, etc., is to understand or maybe consolidate information on a platform where it would be available to all of us, which can be vetted, which is relevant, and which we know is as up to date as possibly can be. I think that could be something that if as a group we could all work towards, that's something definitely.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your perspective. It was really a great learning for all of us. My key takeaways from listening to you are go digital. Lucky for you, you did it early, but go digital. Keep faith in the ecosystem, in the connections you have built, right? Value each and every element of your supply chain, of your ecosystem, right? And connect the dots. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neerav.